Let me take you back in time to when one of the most influential mentors in my life, Mr. Bob Proctor, was just starting his own journey. He wasn't always the powerhouse of prosperity and wisdom he is today. In fact, he was once a 26-year-old struggling under massive debt, barely scraping by. Imagine being so far in the red that even if you gave every dollar you earned, it would take you a year and a half just to break even. That was his reality. But here's the kicker. Today, he's an international figure who's not just changed his life, but helped countless others transform theirs. It's a powerful reminder that anyone, no matter how far behind they start, can rewrite their story. Bob often shares the story of his past in a way that brings it all full circle. He was, in his own words, a lost soul at 26. Born during the Great Depression, he grew up in a world where scarcity and struggle were the dominant themes. Poverty surrounded him, and the idea of prosperity seemed as distant as the stars. By the time he was an adult, the world was at war, and all he knew was that resources were limited, and you were lucky to have anything at all. He wasn't just struggling financially. He was struggling mentally and emotionally, believing that he was destined to live a life of mediocrity. But something changed when he was introduced to a book that shifted his entire paradigm. At first, he didn't believe in the concepts presented. Ideas like asking for $10,000 and getting it within days sounded absurd to him. He thought it was a bunch of fluff, too good to be true. But for some reason, he couldn't put the book down. He kept reading, kept learning, and slowly his perspective started to shift. The most significant change, however, didn't come from one book or one lecture. It came from repetition, the consistent absorption of powerful, life-altering ideas. It was listening to teachers like Earl Nightingale and diving deep into concepts of energy, vibration, and attraction that eventually rewired his mind. Over time, he stopped seeing himself as a victim of circumstance and began to understand that everything in the universe operates on laws that can be tapped into to change your life. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Bob Proctor's success isn't just about hard work or intelligence. It's about energy and vibration. People often hear about the law of attraction, but they don't fully grasp the underlying truth. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you vibrate with. Every thought, every feeling, every action has its own frequency, and that frequency determines what comes into your life. Most people, however, are stuck on the wrong frequency. They're focused on what they don't want, constantly attracting the very things they fear or worry about. Bob emphasizes that attraction isn't about just wanting something. It's about aligning your energy with what you desire. It's about understanding that everything is energy. From the air we breathe to the thoughts in our head, it's all vibrating at a certain frequency. For Bob, the breakthrough came when he realized that success isn't about intellect or formal education. He didn't have a high school diploma, yet he became a millionaire and built an international business empire. The difference wasn't in his IQ. It was in his emotional development, his understanding of how the mind works, and his ability to tap into the power of his subconscious. Bob's journey is proof that if you're stuck in a rut, it's not because of your circumstances, education, or background. It's because you're stuck in an outdated program running in your subconscious mind. Most of us are living out someone else's script, written long before we had a chance to take control. But the good news is you can rewrite that script. By changing your thoughts, your habits, and your beliefs, you can reprogram your mind for success. That's exactly what Bob did. He stopped letting his past define him, and instead, he started defining his future. He spent years studying and applying the principles he learned, and the results speak for themselves. The key isn't in external achievements, it's in mastering your inner world. When you change your mindset, the external world will follow. And here's the truth. Anyone can do this. You don't need a fancy degree, tons of money, or a perfect start. What you need is a willingness to learn, to grow, and to embrace the power of your own thoughts. Just like Bob, you can take control of your life and create the reality you desire. The first step? Recognize that everything around you, including the life you're living, is energy, and you can change your energy at any moment. In the world of the law of attraction, many people often get caught up in the chase for the latest technique or the newest breakthrough. They constantly seek new methods, yet when they don't get the results they want, they feel frustrated and say, "Tell me something new." But here's the thing. Most of what they're missing is a deeper understanding of how this process really works. It's not about constantly looking for fresh advice or secret techniques. The real power lies not in the conscious mind, but in the subconscious mind, the true driver behind everything we create in our lives. I realized something crucial one day that I believe can help a lot of people. Let me explain it like this. The core truth of the law of attraction is found in repetition. Here's what happens to many people. They start studying a certain method, dive deep into it, and eventually feel like they've learned everything there is to know. They might move on to another guru, another philosophy, thinking they'll find something more advanced. But they keep jumping from one teaching to the next, never truly mastering any one of them. The magic happens when you stay committed to a single teaching, repeat it, and let it fully sink into your subconscious. Trust me, the real breakthrough comes not from hopping around, but from consistency and repetition. So here's a simple piece of advice. If you're learning from someone who truly resonates with you, stick with them. Whether it's a mentor, a book, or a program, the key isn't to find the next big thing. It's to stay with what works, even if it feels repetitive. It's in the constant reinforcement of the message that transformation happens. This is the secret I've found and the secret others have shared with me. Let's talk about faith for a second. Faith is the ability to see the invisible. It's about visualizing something in your mind, something that hasn't materialized yet, and truly believing in its possibility. This is what's incredible. There's a power within you, your spirit, that is capable of manifesting anything, but only when you emotionally connect with that vision. When you can see it clearly in your mind and believe it with every ounce of your being, it will begin to materialize into the physical world. Faith isn't just wishful thinking. It's a deep, emotional belief that the invisible will become visible. And this goes even deeper. There's a law of the universe, the perpetual transmutation of energy, which states that everything is simply a manifestation of non-physical energy. Think about it. This bottle of water, the chair you're sitting on, the air around you, it all started as non-physical energy and moved into physical form. When you align your thoughts and emotions with that energy, your desires have no choice but to move into form. This is not just an abstract concept. It's a universal law, and it works for everything. Here's something that might blow your mind. Spirit waits for direction from the soul. We are souls, not just bodies having a spiritual experience. Most people think they have a soul, but the truth is, you are a soul. You're not having a spiritual experience. You are the very embodiment of spirit. And spirit? It's waiting for you to give it direction. When you ask for something and truly believe in it, spirit will bring it to you. But you've got to ask with absolute clarity and confidence. If you don't believe, it won't happen. This brings me to a fundamental truth about life. Nothing is ever created or destroyed. Energy doesn't vanish. It simply transforms. Think of the seasons. A tree grows, its leaves change color, and they eventually fall to the ground, becoming part of the earth again. That earth will, in turn, nourish new trees. This cycle of transformation, returning to source and then back into creation, is the same with you. You are energy in motion. When you leave your body, your soul continues its journey, just like leaves falling back to the earth, eventually contributing to the growth of something new. Death is merely a transition, and life is an eternal cycle of expansion and expression. When you understand that life is this continuous cycle, it becomes clear. Everything you desire already exists as a potential in the invisible energy field. The process of creation follows the same law. It's simply energy transforming into physical form. And when you realize this, you'll start to see that what you want already exists, waiting for you to bring it into the physical world. The key? Faith and belief. When you believe in what you want, when you truly know it's already yours, it will manifest. It's not about intellectual understanding or debating whether it's possible. It's about trusting the process and knowing that once you put the intention out there, it must come to you. As Andrew Carnegie, the great industrialist, once told Napoleon Hill, any idea that is held in the mind, any idea that is emphasized, either feared or revered, will begin to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. This is the power of the subconscious mind. Your belief system is what shapes your reality. So here's the question. Are you ready to believe that you can have whatever you want simply by asking and truly knowing that it will come? That's the real secret. It's incredible how small actions, even ones you don't realize you're taking, can lead to life-changing results. I remember a time when I was making only $2,000 a month, feeling stuck and unsure of how I'd ever achieve anything greater. But after attending a seminar, I decided to write down my first goal, one that terrified me. I was too afraid to imagine making $20,000, so instead, I wrote down an even stranger number, $21,000, to make it feel less intimidating. It felt like such a stretch, but I carried that goal card everywhere. Literally everywhere I went, even to the grocery store. I fold it up, tuck it in my pocket, and carry it with me. Little did I know, someone close to me was picking up those cards when they fell, secretly adding to the power of that intention. That experience taught me something vital. Success isn't about magically getting something you want. It's about moving towards something you desire consistently. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. The process of becoming is the key. When you focus on your goals, when you feel them as if they're already real, you activate something profound inside you. Your brain is constantly responding to images, ideas, and words. When you visualize your goals and write them down, you're embedding those goals into your subconscious. Take Van Gogh, for example. He once said, "I dream my painting, and then I paint my dream." What's powerful here is that he painted the vision he had in his mind. Your goals work in the same way. You must first create a mental picture, then bring it into reality with your words, thoughts, and actions. As you focus on your goals, your brain cells start firing together, connecting your mental picture to your reality. This process begins to reshape your entire experience. But here's the thing, not everyone will actually do this. Most people hear this advice and don't act on it because of their conditioning. They've been taught their whole lives to live with limitations, and when new ideas come along, they seem too far out of reach. People often resist because change is uncomfortable. However, true success demands that you break free from this comfort zone. I've personally seen the power of this principle. A good friend of mine, Phil, went from struggling to the most successful Hollywood producer in the business. He credits his success to this very process, writing his goals on cards and visualizing them consistently. Yet, most people won't take that first step. Why? Because their paradigm, their mental programming, is so ingrained in them that they can't imagine anything more. But here's the thing, you don't have to be stuck in the same cycle forever. The moment you begin taking small steps toward your goals, the universe starts aligning with your actions. Like Earl Nightingale once said, as you start to move toward your goal starts to move towards you. It may not make sense at first, but it's the core of attraction. By keeping your focus and energy on what you want, you begin to draw it closer to you. You have to be on the right frequency to receive it. Too often, people get stuck in a negative frequency, wondering why they're not attracting the success they desire. It's like trying to tune an AM radio to FM music. It's never going to happen unless you change your frequency. If you want prosperity, you have to tune into the frequency of abundance. If you want love, you need to align with the energy of love. This is where true transformation happens, when you become the person who already has what you want. You need to be before you do. I'll leave you with this. If you're serious about shifting your life, start by doing something small every day that serves your future goals. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the right time. Just start now. Commit for 90 days to align with your ideal life, and I promise you, you'll never look back. That's how transformation begins, through consistent, intentional action. So, if you're ready to make the shift, take out a pen and paper, write your goal down and keep it with you. Write it every day. As you do this, feel the reality of it. Visualize it. Watch as your goals start moving towards you. It's a powerful process, one that's led to remarkable success for countless others. And it can work for you too.